Okay, Lillian and Glenn brought their little schnauzer mix to me a couple of years ago, and she had just lost her two schnauzers to the side effects of prednisone before she adopted Cookie, and she had the wisdom to start with a holistic vet right from the beginning. The dog had chronic diarrhea, and it was clear to me the dog had inflammatory bowel disease. This dog was a very nervous little dog, had been rehomed a couple of times. And taking into consideration its emotional and physical symptoms, I came up with a certain homeopathic remedy that it's been on really for 2 years and it's been doing great. We've come up with a kind of system where we rate the stools from 1 to 10, 10 being perfect. And although we had a little bit of shaky start in the beginning, some 4s, 5s, and 6s, I would say the past year we've been on 9.5s and 10s. The dog is on a very low dose of calcarea carbonica, which is a homeopathic remedy that's used oftentimes to treat nervous dogs with bowel conditions.
All of a sudden, the food that we were giving her and everything, she was getting this constant diarrhea. And it was probably around December of 2011. Mm-hmm. And then I took her to the vet. They didn't know what to do, and they kept passing me around to different vets within the practice. So we ran tests, and the tests came back showing that they felt that she had IBD, the irritable bowel disease. And the doctor there told me that the cure, the way to handle it would be to give her steroids, start giving her doses of steroids. And I was not going to do that because I'd already lost 2 dogs to steroid treatment, and I wouldn't do it. They went into Cushing's, they went into diabetes, they went into death, and 2 months apart from each other. And so I went and I was at my naturopath's office, and I was talking about, did they know any holistic doctors? And they mentioned you. So that's when I contacted you about it, because I knew I wouldn't do the steroids. I had gone to another doctor for what their treatment was. That doctor told me that she wasn't a case that really required steroid treatment, but maybe if we gave her Elavil and started her on that. So that's when I came to you, because I had just started her like maybe 1 or 2 doses the most on the Elavil. Didn't like what it did to her. She lost her personality completely. She was asleep all the time.
She was a zombie.
And it was almost like she would look at me like, what's going on with me? It was as if she had this pleading look. She couldn't keep her head up. She couldn't function. So that's when I contacted you. And we started on the homeopathic treatments. I take homeopathic remedies because I don't do well with the side effects to traditional meds. So I know the effectiveness that can happen. And that's when and I also always felt that if anything, after what I went through with our 2 schnauzers, that if anything, I would find holistic treatment. And life presented that. I started to search for places that I would go to for emergency treatment, like if God forbid she needed a surgery, so that I had that in as a backup to you. So I started searching around. I found this one that's right near our home, and so I contacted that vet and spoke with her, and was telling her about the treatment, because part of her treatment is acupuncture. She listed it, so I thought that she would be open to holistic treatment and working with it. And when I started to tell her that she's being treated holistically, but I need to have a doctor available for emergency work, and she started to find out what she's being treated for, and she said, oh, well, that's really something that's nearly impossible to take care of holistically and homeopathically. She said, I haven't ever seen that done. And she said, really, it might be something that you might want to consider doing an endoscopy on her to see what's going on. And if that doesn't show us, then, it's kind of like a full-scale surgery where she's completely opened up, and we can, and I said, well, you're talking about just exploring around without knowing. And she said, well, yes, and then we can determine, what organs are really being affected and what's going on. And I'm like, no, I'm trying to keep her in a less invasive state and not that. And so she's like, well, I haven't ever seen that homeopathy would work in this condition. And
But didn't you tell her that it worked? It was
I said,
wonderful.
well, she's being treated with it now, and I said, and I journal her every day, and have journaled her ever since every day, and I can see that it is.
She's doing great. She's
It's
been doing great.
maintained. It's keeping everything under control. She's, her stools are what I tell you about it.
It's 2.5 years
Right.
that she's been under homeopathic care. So.
She hadn't even met Cookie yet. And she's giving me all this over the phone. So I said, and so she's telling me about holistic care really not working for something like IBD. And I said, but at this point, she's been treated for about 2.5 years. I journal her every day with basically, I've started a 10 rating system when the stool is really wonderful and perfect and you can pick it up and there's no remnants. And I said, and for the past 2.5 years, she's been anywhere from a 9 to a 10 in that department. So I don't know how you can say that holistic treatment doesn't work. And I said, and from my own personal experience, I know it works without any of the nasty side effects. So she really didn't get it, quite frankly, and I just kind of ended the call at that point and realized that that's just not an avenue I would pursue.
In the past, she was a little anxious when she was left alone. How was she if you go out to dinner or something like that?
We don't leave her alone.
You don't leave her alone. I think you should. Should you take her to the movies with you?
No, we don't. We
Well,
do
that
things.
maybe-
We do things that
I
include her.
think that's part of the problem.
No, she's a
That she has to.
She's a good
She's
girl.
such a spoiled little girl. Oh my God.
She's a little
What a
spoiled.
lucky dog. And she used to choke a little bit when she was drinking
Yeah,
water.
she used to have the reverse sneezing.
Well,
yeah,
it's actually
no.
different. She used to choke when she was drinking. Is she still doing that?
Very rarely.
No more choking.
No.
And the reverse sneezing you said went away also?
Oh yeah, that went away also.
Perfect. And she used to lick, what'd she do, lick the floor?
Oh, doing the licky thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, she doesn't do it
She
that
doesn't
much.
do it much anymore.
No.
No.
Okay, great. Less licking. What exactly was it she licking again?
Anything.
She would
The
anything.
table.
Licking the
Anything.
table.
She
any-
really? So what,
anything at all.
on a scale of 1, how much percentage is she better? 50%, 10%?
Oh, I think it's
More than that.
More than 50%.
70, 80%.
80% better. That's
Yes.
wonderful. So the thing is, the cow carb, the remedy that's helping with the stool, this is how it's different from conventional medicine. It's working. We're treating the dog. We're not just treating
Right.
the diarrhea. So with cow carb, it addresses very insecure animals
Mhm.
that are fearful with new things. They're also animals that tend to lick indigestible stuff,
Yeah.
and they're animals that choke when they drink. So there's a lot of different symptoms. So we can see as we clear up the stool, everything else is getting better also, which means
Right.
we're totally on the right track. Because unlike steroids, which would address just the diarrhea temporarily,
Yeah,
well,
and
it weakens the
alcohol.
muscles and weakens the
Mhm.
liver and everything else.
The adrenals.
So we're just, I mean, she's better than she was 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Yes.
And she's
Oh, yes.
what, right? She's better.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, with good
Definitely.
care, we're
But
hoping.
she was a rescue, was abused, so she was dealing with all those issues as well, and a lot of those things have,
She couldn't have found
Calm
what a home. Anybody that doesn't leave their house ever
Mhm.
without the
No, we
dog.
take her. Everything is cookie friendly.
Okay, oh, he loves her. So let's just have a little look at her. Let's put her on with her
Okay.
little
Table.
collar here, her beautiful sunflower collar. Okay, let me check her toenails.
She
They
has-
look
we
nice
have
and
a
healthy. The toenails are a very good way to assess nutritional status.
Okay.
And you want them to be shiny and black, and that's the way they are, not like cracked and brittle.
Mm-hmm.
And she has no problem looking with her feet, which a lot of dogs do, so that's fantastic. I'm just going to look at her heart, listen to her heart now, and see how that's going. Yeah, what are we doing, Cookie? You're very much more trusting than you used to be.
Yeah.
Okay, let's have a look here. Her weight is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Her teeth are gorgeous, beautiful. We don't need any dentistries under anesthesia for this girl.
Good.
Okay, her ears are good. Her eyes, her coat looks nice and shiny.
Yes.
And a 10 out of 10 stool, I can't say that I can equal that.